I don't know where they. Oh, there we are. So, Heidi, I'm going to show you the pizza dough as it is meant to be. It's prepared with 3 cups of flour, roughly 1 cup of water, a sachet of yeast, and maybe a teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So, I've kneaded this in the KitchenAid, and this is straight after it's been kneaded, so you can see its springiness. You can see that it holds its the little shapes and stuff at the moment, and so that's maybe 10 minutes after I've done it. But yours won't end up quite like that when you first prepare the dough. But I'm going to let this pretty much double in size, and then we'll come back and do some stuff with it. So there. So Heidi, this is the dough after probably an hour and a half, just at room temperature, so 20 odd degrees, same temperature as in your flat. It's risen how I want, but because I'll be going out shortly, what I'm going to do is refrigerate it and then do the thingies tomorrow. So that's just to show you that it's like this. I'll refrigerate it and it'll be just the same in the morning, then I'll kind of just let it warm up to room temperature and do it. So yeah, I'll stop it now. Okay, so it's now the next day. The pizza dough stuff had been in the fridge. It did continue to rise. You can see it's a bit that a few little air bubbles and stuff in it, and we'll knock that down. We've got some parsley, some semi-dried tomatoes, some halloumi cheese, vegetarian, some olives, and some fire roasted capsicums. So I'll now proceed to make the pizza pockets. Okay, so I've severed off a little bit, and as you can see, when you handle it, it collapses, the dough collapses a little bit. So we just take this piece of dough that we've got here and we press him out a little bit into the shape that we want. So I'll just have to stop the recording and then I'll show you. Okay, so I've stretched him out a fair way. He's quite thin, and now we put the filling in. So I think I'll start with some cheese, even though you're not going to eat the cheese. Some olives, a few little olives, some fire roasted capsicums. And I think the important thing is not to overdo it with the filling, otherwise it gets a little bit too much. So I've got that, and then some the parsley. Okay, now this will be a bit tricky for me to do one-handed, but the idea is that there's no oil around the edge here. So the ingredients that are in there, they can be oily, but it's important that around the edge where it's going to seal is not oily. So I'll just try to fold him over and watch what I'm doing on the camera. And that's not so bad. And so there's one of our pizza pockets ready to go. So I'll just do a few and then I'll fry them, and then we'll look at the finished product. So we have our pan with oil, probably, I don't know, 1/2 centimetre. It's shallow frying, so it just needs to be enough that the things can fry. And I'll show you what I've done. So these are all okay. Now, I suppose the issue that you were having was that yours were opening up. They might have been opening up like now, or when you put them in the oil. I'm going to show you the best thing to do. If the dough is fairly sticky and pliable, as this dough is. You can see the consistency. The dough will meld together when you do the seam. It's when it's a bit more like bread dough that it doesn't do that. When it's drier. So even though the oil won't be quite hot enough, I'll just stick him in. Put him in. So what I'm going to do is put him in seam down. And the reason I put him in seam down is so that the seam seals first. If you put him in seam up, all the heat could make the seam burst. So I'm trying to do it like that. Normally I just whiz the oil around a bit. I don't want to cause a fire here, but so you can see what I'm doing. Let's get my utensil out of the cupboard. Now, as you can see, the seam has held. This one almost wanted to open up, but he's still intact. Swish the oil around. See what the flame's like here. Although you've got an electric one, can't even see that. I'm just going to turn it up a bit. Oh, got a bursty bit. That's alright. Just a little olive spot. So you can see we've got the San Andreas fault here, but it's still actually intact. I might just swish him over a little bit for a moment. We're getting that golden colour that we like. Just trying to brown the sides a bit. Ready. They're pretty much ready. Pop them into another pan for a moment. It's just because I've got to hold the camera. So there they are. I'm just going to dry them and then we'll open them up and have a look, taste them. So the moment of truth, I'm going to chop him open. I'll have a look inside. Yum. Very good. Very yummy. So yeah, there you have it. Pizza pockets. So here's the finished product, less the one I ate. So they're very delicious, they smell good, they taste good. There you go.